and welcome back. We are here one man short, but it's okay because he was probably going to do something dumb again. But we are here. We have our weekly predictions, our week one predictions, along with who we, as a group, as a collective, who can never agree on anything.
Nope.
We are going to come up with our collective top 10 teams. Consensus top 10 teams. Not unanimous top 10 teams because that would be impossible. We would be here for days. Consensus top 10 teams. Someone's going to disagree. It'll probably be Peter. You gentlemen ready?
Yep.
Because Aaron's not here, you have anything you want to say?
Hi.
No.
Okay, because I trust both of you to say something unprompted. I have to filter him and then edit it out.
Way too much.
Dare that.
So let's go ahead. Let's kick it off. Okay, we're starting with the top 10 teams because I feel like that's more fun. That feels like an intro to an hour-long video. Or
Yeah.
50, 40, 30 minute. It feels like
However
the intro.
long.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead and knock a few out. Okay, the top 10 teams, there's a couple, like for sure top 10 teams. There are the Chiefs, there are the Ravens, there are the 49ers. Those three are automatic locks in any kind of top 5, top 10 conversation.
So is that the order you're saying it?
No, I'm just.
Okay.
It is a
They're
top
definitely
10.
top 3.
Yeah. I
But
agree.
those are the top 3. I think pretty confidently.
Yeah.
Even though the Chiefs roster doesn't necessarily look the same compared to the other two, but the proven success, you can't have anyone else.
I'm looking at it right now. I'm trying to make a reason not to put the Ravens there.
You
I
can't.
just can't.
Like in terms of top 10, I just started with those 3.
Yeah. That's fair.
I think if outside of that, I was like, you could. I think Detroit's a lock for Detroit's a top 10 team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would say Houston is probably a top 10 team. I think they're on the border though.
I had them.
I really not on the border.
I think they're on the board, so we'll come back to them. I think. But we got 49ers, Chiefs, Ravens,
Lions.
I think are for sure. Everybody else, I think you can make an argument for. And if you somebody would justifiably claim that the Texans aren't the Texans could have been a 1-year wonder.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys are the Cowboys. The Dolphins they can't
What
play
about
defense.
the Eagles?
The Eagles, I think, are the next. In terms of top 10, they may not be ranked. If you were to look at a list,
Yeah.
they would consistently be top 10, but it's always
Low.
6, 7, 8. So
Yeah.
I'm fine putting the Eagles.
I kind of feel like putting them 5 because I just don't know what else teams I actually trust right now to be in the top 5.
top 10.
I kind of thought of it
That's
throughout season and then with playoffs in mind as well.
I just have it in mind preseason. That's all I'm going. Right now, who are the top 10 teams? I don't care how they perform. I don't care what their actual record is. Because I'm not trying to predict the top 10 records. That one, we go to strength of schedule and we can kind of predict. That's
Mhm.
I just want to know who you think the top 10 teams are.
Okay, so we got
6.
We have 6 that are
Well,
on
I
my
feel-
list right now. So
Let's do top 5 first. Maybe it's a little
So
easier.
top 5: Chiefs, Ravens, 49ers, Lions. I think are the top or 4.
top
And
4.
so Lions are 4.
I don't feel confident putting Eagles, Cowboys, or Packers in there.
I just don't know who else you put. And that's my issue. I think
To me, the Dolphins have a legitimate chance,
I had the Dolphins up there.
but I think the Dolphins and the Eagles are kind of in similar.
Yeah, that's why I just don't know who else would be. I think I put Eagles 5 because I don't know who else could be.
I was
5.
just about to say, I think if we're doing a power ranking,
Yeah.
I think the Eagles are 5.
I think Dolphins are 6.
That's
Because I think you're right. I think they're equal. But it's just, for me, it's hard to put Dolphins not 5. Or, sorry, not 6.
yeah. No, I do think, if you were to ask me, in order, I'd say 49ers, Ravens, Chiefs, Lions, Eagles.
Oh, you put Chiefs at 3?
Okay, maybe Chiefs ahead of Ravens. Whatever. Ravens and Chiefs. I think
I put
the actual
Chiefs at
team
2.
construction, I have less questions about the Ravens.
That's fair.
But I know the Chiefs will beat them anyway.
I know the Chiefs at the Chiefs.
Right, they're going to beat them anyway, so we'll put the Chiefs at 2.
So you put Niners at 1?
I
I
did.
put Niners at 1, Chiefs at 2.
To me, the 49ers
Ravens
are the
at
best
3.
team.
See, I had Chiefs at 1 and Niners at 2.
Because you hate the Niners.
Yes, but also the fact
It's
that
justified.
Chiefs won the Super
Back
Bowl.
to back.
Yeah.
With an honestly good chance at 3P. Like,
Yeah,
it is.
and for me, it's just hard not to bet with them
Right.
at this point.
It's 100% justified.
So that's why I put them there. But 49ers at 1. Yeah, that's fair.
So then.
Lions at 4, Eagles at 5.
That's what I have.
That's what
That's
I have.
fair.
It's like my list looks like that. Like that's how the
Yeah.
way you have yours. That's how I have mine. I think the Dolphins, Cowboys,
Pack.
Texans.
Yeah, I agree with all of
I
those.
think just in teams who have a chance to be in the top 10.
I have one that probably shouldn't be on here. I'm
I
thinking
wouldn't
about now.
put the Bengals in there quite yet.
That's not what I was thinking of.
No, I'm
I definitely
going
had
in
them
orders
on the list.
because I was like Joe Burrow's coming back off of injury. Like being honest, and Jamar Chase isn't a lock to play. I was like they're in the conversation mainly because there's a lot of teams I just don't feel good about.
Fair.
But they're up there anyways.
I would maybe with Bengals. I'd probably put them around 10, right about.
Right,
now.
the Bengals would be in that 8 at the highest, 9, 10.
Yeah.
So
But I think what I think after Eagles, it should be Dolphins,
Yeah, so I think
and then probably Cowboys.
I agree. The running game's the
I
only
was
issue.
thinking the Cowboys.
Dolphins are too fast.
But you know who I like
Correct.
at 7?
Who?
I kind of like the Packers. 'Cause
I
I think overall they're very well rounded. I think they have a solid defense. I think their offense is going to be good. I think adding Jacobs is going to add a different layer to that offense. Yes, Jacobs older. Yes, he's a little slower, but it's going to add a different layer to that offense. And I think I honestly think the Packers, Lambeau too, playing in Lambeau, that I think
Yeah.
does play a huge factor in where they are. Honestly, like.
so I think so. Packers and Cowboys. The Cowboys feel like they should be better,
Yeah,
but they still lost to the Packers last year.
Yeah, but that was playoff Cowboys.
Correct, that's true. And admittedly, the Packers had a kind of not fluke. I don't want to say fluky run, but they had a kind of cupcakey
Interesting
schedule.
out of nowhere run.
Right in the back end of their schedule was a little weak,
Mm-hmm.
so that helped. But they still beat them. I was like, they still beat them. It's
They
still
did beat 'em.
justified. They have a good team. Matt LaFleur is a good coach. I think. So we have 6 for sure. Cowboys, Packers, 7, 8. If we were to throw them in there,
Yeah.
Bills. Bills were the one team I was going to mention.
Bills were my questionable.
They're it's tough because they lost so
'Cause
much.
They lost so much. Yeah.
It's still Josh Allen.
Yeah.
They still do have weapons. It's just a different type of offense from the last 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Like they don't have that receiver
Yeah.
threat that they have had, unless Keon Coleman is
which is
literally
very
that
possible.
insane, right? But it's like you still do have Kincaid, you
Yeah.
still do have Dawson Knox, you still have James Cook, you still have, as mentioned, Keon Coleman, Khalil Shakir, who can still catch passes. Like this offense is still gonna be good. The
I'm-
defense is iffier
That's what I'm worried about.
because they lost Jordan Poyer, I believe, to Miami.
Yep.
They're banged up. Matt Milano's out for the year. Like their defensive captains are out. They might actually have to play DeMar Hamlin, which is brutal.
Just don't play them against the Bengals.
Yeah.
Oh wait, we don't play this year.
You do not, or don't put them as special teams and try and run a fake punt off of it. That didn't
Yeah.
work.
Put them as the 12th man.
Yeah, it's-
This isn't Texas A&M.
You know what team I'm looking at though, and I maybe 10's a little high, but I really do like what the Rams have over there.
as of this particular second,
I-
Jared Goff isn't, or not Jared Goff. Stafford isn't confirmed to be playing.
Yeah, he's questionable.
Cooper
right
Kupp has been banged
now.
up.
Cup's old.
Kyron Williams is a punt returner now.
Puka's
Cup is
questionable right
Cup
now.
is healthy. Puka's the one that's questionable.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
But
They're the same player.
here's the thing. I think their defense is very good. So, yes, they lost Donald, but I think they replaced him with a couple young players. I think are going to have great years for them. No, you're not going to replace Donald. You can't.
The only problem is like the Rams are solid, but I don't see them.
I would have them
I don't
just
see
outside.
them beating
Okay.
Texans
And that-
or
Like
See,
I
but
don't have
especially-
them low. I just
could
have
see 'em-
top 10. I don't think.
I
is-
can see him being Texans.
I can see him like 11-12.
on the pure principle that McVay is.
McVay's very good. McVay's
McVay
very good.
really is a great game manager.
Yeah, no, and if I can't think of a 10th team, I'm more than happy to put the Rams in there. It's just I like
No, I
Right
think
now-
11 and 12 is fair. one.
Right, like they're in those like the right before the teens. It could be 10. They're 10, 11, or 12.
What teams are we considering for 9?
Well, if we put Pack at
Texas,
8,
Rams, Bills, right?
Texans, I feel, have to make this list.
The Bills, it's like, see, this is. Let's see.
Bills is a little more questionable.
I
for
don't
me.
think Texans should be, but again,
That's because you don't like Stroud and you don't like the
No,
Texans.
no.
You want the Rams
No, he
on
changed
there 'cause
his
you're a
mind.
Rams fan.
He
No.
changed his mind. He likes Stroud now.
Yeah, if Stroud, I'm good.
Because
with
he
Stroud.
finally listened to what I was saying.
No,
Yeah.
I just watched him more.
Okay,
Okay,
for
hear me out.
reference,
Sorry.
about 3 months ago, he said that Stroud was going to have a bad year and he's going to suck because it's his second year.
I said that,
and now he
think you
thinks
did
he's
say
a
that.
god.
Not 3 months ago.
So,
I said that Super Bowl, but then when they got Diggs, I said that if he can't get them to the playoffs and win some games, then I say that.
Here's what I'll say. Your first point is valid. Like, if nobody thought he would, like, okay, not nobody, but, like, he was the consensus quarterback 2 in that draft for a reason. Like,
Yeah.
people had issues with it. Like, and the issues are still present. Like, he's not
But
the perfect
My
quarterback
biggest
yet.
issue with Texas right now, and the only reason I mean, my issue with Texas, I don't want to put them in the top 10, but it goes back to like the same reason I don't think Ravens should be 3. I just don't know who I would replace them with, and it's hard to find someone I feel comfortable replacing them
I
with.
think part of our problem is top 10 feels like so
Yeah.
inclusive, but in all honesty, that's a third of the league.
Yeah,
I was like, and it's really not.
no.
So you're going to get a team like the Texans, the Rams, or the Bills in there.
Yeah. So, like, at this point, I will say and my issue with Texans is really that they're really young.
They are.
And I need to see what they can do again
If-
and make sure it's not a fluke.
If I'm going to be honest with you, I would rather have the Texans in than the Packers.
I can agree with that. Green
I
Bay is a lot younger.
Green Bay feels much less proven, which is weird.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I just
really-
Jordan Love should be good again, but he also he's iffy. He is very turnover prone. Having watched him play in college, very turnover prone. He seemed to fix it. They don't have a bona fide wide receiver 1, whereas the Texans do have
True.
3 good. Like
Really good.
they are good wide receivers.
fair.
Regardless how you feel about Stephon Diggs, I trust the talent on the Houston Texans defense, and I trust D'Amico Ryans is their head coach, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
But and
Like, defensively, I trust D'Amico over whoever the Packers have at defense coordinator to run a good defense. I will say it looked a little brutal in the preseason game against the Bears, but they weren't playing
It
their
was
starter.
preseason.
Like,
here's what I'll say. For me, if Packers play Texans right now, I would have more confidence of what I know the Packers have been the way the Packers are, and they're just with LaFleur. With LaFleur and how they run their quarterbacks, I think that we've seen them do. This is the recipe that Packers use over and over again to produce Hall of Fame quarterbacks. It's just hard not to see it work.
It
keep
is,
working.
But
it
to
really is.
your initial point of if they played now, I'm picking the Texans.
I'm picking the
I
Texans.
would pick the Packers
100%.
just because I trust.
He's
I
got to pick
trust
the Packers
process.
because he knows they'll beat the Saints every year.
No, he picks and it's if you have a fandom, I was like, it's fair. I was like, I know you're slightly biased towards the Packers,
I am,
and it's fair. I was like, if the
But
Patriots
honestly-
were somewhat good, I'd throw them in top 20 talks,
but
but we're not.
But this is.
So I can't
but
do
if I'm
it.
being honest, honestly, I would love to put Texas over Packers because I love my brother's team not to be good.
Yeah,
But it's really hard to see what the Packers are doing now and like the same system they've run for the last 20, 30 years, and it always gets them.
how many
That area.
times? But to that point, how many times has LaFleur done it?
He hasn't.
Right, like this was
And
his
that's
first
fair.
year of. Like, you can point
But
to the
it's the
fact that it's the
same
Packers. Correct.
It's the same system.
It's going to end at some point. You know, that's
You would think, but I just
it
don't.
will, but-
The way I think the thing too is the way that Love is so calm. I just
See, I that's again. I have it flipped. I was like, Stroud
Can
seems
we-
so much more relaxed.
You know what, now that we're talking about this, can we put Cowboys at 9, just for the hell of it?
Yeah, sure, sure.
But let's put
They're
Packers
They're
in-
the Cowboys.
Let's put
It's like,
Packers, Texans.
I have no issues putting
7
the
and 8,
Cowboys. lower.
Cowboys 9.
They are starting Dalvin Cook or Ezekiel Elliott at running back.
If I'm being honest,
Or
I trust.
Rico Dowdle.
If I'm being honest, I trust the
Probably
Packers
the best
and Texans more than I do the Cowboys, because their defense should be good.
The only time I
But
don't
they
trust
also
the
lost Dan
Cowboys is playoffs.
I will say I might side with Peter on this one. I think, and again, we're not doing a list. We're just trying to collect top 10 teams.
Yeah.
So I think we have our 9. I think we have 9.
Yeah.
I was like the 7 you got there, and then plus the Texans and the Packers, which would leave the Bills, Rams, and Bengals. We have all mentioned.
Yeah.
My biggest issue with the Bengals is what's going to happen with Jamar Chase.
That I
don't think that matters too
so.
much.
I think at the end of the year, we could come to it, and the Bengals would be top 10. As of this moment, it does matter because he's probably not going to play week 1.
Yeah.
So if this
We're
were
playing the Patriots week 1.
okay, it also doesn't. That's why we're not talking about records. Okay, it's an automatic win, and T. Higgins is going to look like
A god.
prime Randy Moss. It's going to happen. That's why I draft him every league, just for this 1 week, and I'll trade him. But I think I would say it's between. I have the Bills ahead of the Bengals personally right now. Josh Allen coming off a fully healthy year,
Yeah.
and I think he is a better quarterback than Joe Burrow.
Their defense is a little stronger too.
Yes,
So-
I trust, despite what comes out of his mouth during post-game locker room meetings, I trust Sean McDermott to run a football team. Would never vote for him for any kind of political race, because that could cause some issues. But
So-
to run a football team, I trust Sean McDermott.
Here's my question, right? And I get that you're going to have bias against him, and I get that we don't like him.
Who do I hate? No, we're not putting the Jets.
You look at that football team right now.
We're
Rodgers will be hurt game 1 against the 49ers defense.
Hold on. You have a really solid defense, a really good defense,
Correct.
probably top 5, maybe top 10 if you really want to push them. You have a very good. Yes, I get it. It's old Rodgers.
Old injured Rodgers.
He's only been in the last couple of years. He's only been hurt 1 or 2 times.
Okay, I'm not necessarily worried about him getting hurt again, except for the fact that it was a leg injury. That's
Okay,
the only
that's
concerning
fair.
thing is if it's
You
the same
have-
thing.
You have Brees, that
Should be good,
should be great.
but he should have been great the last
You have
3 years.
you have Garrett Wilson.
Garrett wasn't
If
good,
Williams stays
He's
healthy,
cute.
which he won't.
but he's not right now. It's the same thing with Jamar Chase. I'm not factoring in Jamar Chase right now.
Okay, so I
I'm
still
not
trust
factoring
Jets. I still
Mike
trust.
Wilson.
I still trust. Well, Garrett Wilson's in. He's not hurt.
Mike
Oh,
Williams.
Mike Williams. Okay. And their own line did get better. They did
It gets better every year, and it is still the same pile of dog crap.
maybe.
It is.
I honestly think that it is a little hard for us not to look at that Jets team and like you don't have to put them on top 10,
They're not top 10.
but not to consider them.
I'm not considering them.
I'm not considering them.
I know you shouldn't.
I'm not considering
You
them.
shouldn't because you're a Patriots
The
fan.
Jets
That's fair.
suck.
I'm telling
Jets
you
will
right now.
always
The
suck.
Jets
At the end of
always
the
look
season,
good, and they
There's a very
always
good chance
disappoint.
they win that league.
No.
They
there's
shouldn't,
not.
and they're not. I don't think they're going to, but there's a chance they will. Jets
So-
are a good team.
You're saying the Jets are better than the Dolphins and the Bills now?
No, he said there's a chance
I said
they
there's a
could.
chance.
Their
You said
record.
there's a chance that they win the league.
Correct. There's a
No.
chance their record is better.
Yeah.
That's complete because they have a much easier schedule than the Bills and the Dolphins do. So if they were to win the league,
I still think Dolphins are a better team, but what I'm saying is I think Jets could win their division. Based on their
it is
strength of
possible. It is possible for them to win the division
They have
and
an easier
be the
schedule than
second best
Dolphins.
team. I think if they win the division, they're better than the Bills because the Bills would probably be third.
But I mean, look at their schedule is easier than the Dolphins.
Right, dude. They play us, the Broncos, and the Vikings in back-to-back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, but they don't beat the Patriots.
They do now. They did last year, and
No, they didn't.
they did.
Won.
They did.
They won.
They
I thought
won.
you
They
won
got
both.
no. We were so bad last year. It was.
You
We
beat
lost.
one.
We lost to the Giants and the Jets.
And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I don't know if they're top 10. I don't know, but for them not to be mentioned with how, especially
I
how that
wasn't gonna
defense
mention
is. I know you won't, but especially how that defense is.
We know
The
how much
offense
you
is
love
going to
their
be
D.
good.
I just
Shut up.
throw back to last year.
Yep.
That is a long. That's a big time
If you
throwback.
know that's from.
I don't remember what
That's
video
fun.
that's from.
It's from one of our
That's
videos.
the one that says the Jets
Oh,
D
yeah.
is scary.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Thumbnail.
I'll link it just so they all
It's a great video.
all
Check it
10
out.
people
All
see
10
it.
people understand.
I think we were up to 18
Still
last
check it
I
out.
checked.
Oh my god, 18?
I'm pretty sure.
Let's go.
4 of them are us.
Yeah,
Yep.
correct.
Um,
And his mom, or and his parents. 19. So 18
Wow.
before his parents watched it.
No, they didn't watch that one.
Oh damn it!
The
Dang it.
new one?
They didn't watch the new one.
Which
What
one
one
did
did they
watch?
watch?
That one.
So the new one
The new
that
one.
he was
That's the
clicked
new
on.
one.
No, he clicked on the old one. Did you?
No, this
This
is the new
literally
one.
the
Oh,
new logo
yeah.
that's only
This is the
been
new
used
one.
once.
But I know that's the one you're talking about.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's
yeah.
the new one, and this is the one I did by myself.
Mm-hmm. I thought you were talking about the Jets one. The one where I said
No,
this-
no,
Jets is-
they'll watch that one after. I'll get them to watch it. Okay,
Okay.
we're not including the Jets.
No.
You mentioned them. You had your run. They're not getting in the top 10. Okay, they have to start the season 16-0 for them to get mentioned in the top 10 for me.
Now, question.
Okay.
Is that because they're the Jets and you hate them?
Partially,
Okay, good. Okay.
partially.
Now, the next one.
If I didn't hate them, they would have been mentioned. They still wouldn't go in the
Now,
top
the
10.
other one that I'll mention so you guys don't have to
The Saints aren't in the top 10.
is the Falcons.
So it did cross my mind to have an NFC South team.
That's fair.
It's like it's not the Bucks.
but
I think
I don't
again
think-
under the same premise of mentioning the Falcons could end up in the top 10.
they could. I don't think
They're
they
not
will.
going to.
I don't think they're right now. They are.
I'll put them down anyway.
It's fair. It's a fair
Like, what?
So after-
notice, but it's
So-
it's not gonna happen.
After that, I think we're down to the same three teams. I think it's between the Bills, Rams, and Bengals.
of
Agreed.
those three, I think it's the Rams.
That's wrong.
I feel so kind of dumb pinning it on this, like, but it's the first thing that comes to mind. The Bills have the best quarterback, the most healthy quarterback.
Yeah.
I was like, and it's like Joe Burrow was close when healthy.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford hasn't been close for a while. I was like, to me, it's the Bills. I'm not pitting everything on
I
that,
put
but
the
when
Bills at
when
10.
you come to separating it, I think the Bills over the two get. I think it's close.
So and here's why I think the Bills for me isn't. I think Bengals and Rams both beat them.
The Bills?
Why they beat the Bills? I think you have Josh Allen. That's not a question, right? They have probably the best quarterback of all three. He's honestly could be considered a top 5 quarterback. That's not the question here.
Could be.
I'm not doing the numbers in my head.
He's a.
I would say yes.
he's a
but-
top 2 quarterback.
Okay,
I would say top
that's
three.
not the question. Here,
Correct.
right?
As
Top
the
three.
debate is between him and Lamar. Is the consensus debate? You could throw in Burrow when healthy.
I was gonna say Mahomes, him, and Burrow
Yeah,
would be my top three.
typically it's Lamar.
Well, they have
flipped in
Lamar,
for
but they
Burrow.
also I don't know. Some people consider Hurts.
I don't
that's not
know.
the question
Burrow
here.
can beat.
Right. I was like, but it's also
Mahomes.
understandable. I
That's
was
the
like,
difference.
So-
That's the difference for me.
So,
Burrow
but
can beat
here's
Mahomes.
my issue with like.
Okay, back to
So, I just think when you look at the Rams and the Bengals, yes, Bills have the best quarterback. That's not the question. I don't know what they're gonna do in the receiving game. I don't know really. James Cook should be good this year.
he will be good.
I don't trust our defense. Those teams, I think the Rams and Bengals are more complete and better teams overall than what the Bills
I think
are. Just what the Bills are on paper
complete's
right now.
not the right word.
I think
I
the
think
Bills
you're
have
more
a better
sure
defense.
in what they're going to be. You are more sure that the Rams are going to be solid.
I don't think Bills have a good team. They lost so much.
But they're still gonna. Sean McDermott again is such a good defensive coach. Matt Milano, I know he's not a flashing name. Like when it comes to even top 100 stuff,
He's so good.
having
But he's out though too.
correct,
That's the issue.
but having had to play him twice a year for the last couple of years, he was incredible. He was not a highly touted draft pick. All right, he was like a 5th round pick. He was that might be wrong, but he was a day 2, day 3 pick. Okay, he was not highly touted. At Boston College, he wasn't great. McDermott helped transform him into the captain of that defense.
And McDermott's good, but if you look at, I think McVay is.
McVay is
up
probably
there.
as a whole better, but
No,
when you
I
look
don't
at their
know.
issues,
I don't
think
know how you feel about what is it, Zach?
Zach Taylor's good, but I think he is the worst of the 3.
Fair.
I mean, he did make a Super Bowl, and McDermott is not.
I think
It's just I don't.
I just think the Rams and I think if you give me a team right now, this basic with what the Bills are offensively, I just have too many questions to consider them a top 10 team.
Aaron, what do you think?
But that's just what I
I
just
think
too many
all
questions.
three have enough problems on offense right now.
Correct. I was like,
The Bills
because
are down to like 2s and 3s, which isn't great.
yeah.
The Bengals are pretty much the same way because Chase is out for at least week 1
Yeah.
because he's being kind of gay. And then the Rams just can never seem to stay healthy.
I will say to the Rams' credit, they do somehow like last year. To me, it kind of felt like all of a sudden they're in the playoff rate. Like
Yeah.
they kept getting beat up and they're still here.
Puka was getting killed in the playoff games, and he was going crazy.
Right.
here's
I was
the-
like,
I think-
that's a big credit to the Rams. Is like their
I
ability
think
to.
Cup is finally healthy too.
I don't
Yes,
think
he's
that's
a
going to
little
last
older.
very long.
That's gonna.
I
be
think it
huge.
will, but I was like, but then Puka's banged up from last year, where he had to carry the offense.
Yes,
with,
Puka carried
But
everything
Puka-
last year.
Puka
Cup
will be-
carried everything the year
Puka will be good to start
before.
the season off. He's going to start. Kyron, I don't
I think there's
take
way
too
too
much
many
with Kyron punting.
health questions on the Rams
Yeah.
at the moment.
I would have a very big issue if Kyron
Let
Kyron
Kyron-
was the punter.
Let Kyron punt,
would
kick, field punts, field kickoffs.
I would have
Just do it. He's a
way
special
bigger.
team.
Okay, we have to come to a decision.
My race is between the Bills and the Bengals.
See,
But I put the Bills
see,
at 10.
I have Bills Rams.
I think because it's easy, like the Rams could be, or the Bengals could be 11th, but they're not better than the Bills.
Yeah, I put Bills
So it's
at 10.
like realistically, the debate would be between the Bills and the Rams because I know I right now the Bengals are not better than the Bills. That could change the second Jamar Chase signs an extension.
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
feel way more confident, but the fact that he hasn't right now, I was like, it comes down to right now. Like if you made me pick between the Bills and the Rams, I'm taking the Bills.
Yeah.
And I think my issue is I until I see them, because I think my difference between, and I know at this point I'm not, we're playing the Bills time, right? But I think right now by what their roster is, if you give me that roster compared to the Rams,
Rams have a tough squad. The Rams
just-
start off against the
Almost
Lions.
2 years ago.
I trust what the Rams have. I need to see what Bills have first.
It was 2 years ago, but it was. I remember it being an absolute blowout,
Let's go.
31-10.
Yeah.
They blew them out, and then
That was
they made it close,
A
and then
little bit ago, though.
it was 2 years ago. I was like, I
I
don't.
also thought Puka too. And they
Correct.
saw Diggs.
Correct.
Wasn't that year that Diggs went off too? Or was that the
Probably.
year before?
He goes off the
He goes
beginning
off
of every year.
His high reception was 122.
148. Yeah, so
122.
he was 122 in that game, 148 the next. Then Devin Singletary is their leading receiver against the
Oh,
Eagles.
I forgot about him. He's
He's the starting running back for the Giants.
But I forgot he was a Bill.
He was. So I do think
I think it's
as
Bills
a
at 10 without
consensus,
question.
I think
It's-
because the lowest we have him is 11. I think that's where you have them. Like you have Rams, Bills, Bengals.
Honestly, I probably have, if I'm being honest, I probably have Rams, Bengals, Bills.
That's
But I understand why Bills are 10. So I'm
Okay,
okay
I
with
think
them.
as a whole we have
Yeah.
a higher opinion, like collective higher opinion on the Bills
Yeah.
than we do, and it'll change in a week. Like
Yeah.
one of these teams will have a bad they'll disappoint, and we
Like-
have to redo the entire thing.
the Lions and the Rams play this week.
Which we'll
Right.
get
That's
into
like
later.
if the Lions blow them out, the Rams aren't even going to be in consideration. But if the Rams beat them, they're like, oh shoot, you were right about the Rams.
Yeah.
So I was like, it changes.
And the
whole
Jets play
thing.
the Niners.
If the Jets win, then
If
we
they-
were wrong about. Like, so there's so many things.
Which,
There's
where's that
too
at?
much to look at. It's us, the
San Fran.
Niners.
Okay.
It's not. The Jets aren't going to win.
Uh,
So
they're
our
not.
top 10:
But I don't think that's based on the Jets. I think it's just based on how good
Minus-
they are.
Aaron, minus Ronnie.
Ron.
Not in order, not in specific order, but a general like the way you kind of move down on.
They're
like,
not in order, but they're in order.
Right, like the way
Just
you
move the
move down,
Cowboys
I was
down to
like,
9 and we're
if you
happy.
have a switch or two or whatever, it's 49ers, Ravens, Chiefs, Lions, Eagles, Dolphins, Cowboys, Packers, Texans, and then Bills was our consensus top 10. We'll see if Ronnie has any issues with it. I might text him later. But speaking of Ronnie and the three of us,
Yeah.
Yep.
we had a fantasy football draft today.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
So as this little intermediate, I'm going to post a picture, and you guys have to vote whose team is better. Okay, in the comments, they will have numbers attached to them, just 1, 2, 3, or 4. I don't think we'll include the other two.
Yeah, no, I don't.
No,
need
I
to do
wouldn't.
that.
We're gonna go. Yeah.
Although
So
one of them is kind of crazy.
we'll preface it. It is a
Wait, hold on.
six. It is a
One-
6-team league.
One of them renamed their league or their team.
We
Yeah,
will have to
she
change
did.
the names.
Did you see that? Look at that team.
Okay.
Did
That's
she
what she
change
did.
it again?
I
Yeah.
might have to. Don't say it.
Yeah, I
Just cut it
read
out.
that. I
I'm
saw
gonna have to
that.
bleep out 2 things now.
That's
That's
why I
fine.
asked if she said she was going to change it again.
Let's
Um,
just change it.
Yeah, vote for your favorite. Aaron and I are playing each other week 1. Peter's playing somebody else. But yeah, so this is a 6-team league. So if you wonder why the teams are so stacked, that's why. It's six
people.
teams. Okay, but just something I needed a transition, and that felt like a pretty good one.
Yeah.
That was
That
a good
felt
one.
I
that
know
felt
who I would have number one.
not you, bud.
I actually
So
want to be.
well, duh.
He's got 4 quarterbacks.
No, I have 3.
Oh,
Yeah, but his first 3 picks were by far the best.
that's
Yeah,
because
I did have
this Aaron makes some poor financial decisions.
I did get the benefit of picking right after him, so that helped.
Yeah,
Okay,
agreed.
football's back.
Starting on
I'm so
Thursday.
excited. dude.
NFL football is back.
So excited.
As probably the biggest college football fan here. You're probably
Yeah, I would say
As-
you're
as-
closer
as-
to
as-
NFL.
as a fan, a bigger fan of both of them. As the happy medium,
I'll give you that.
as the happy medium between you two. I love college football. NFL is back.
So excited.
The games aren't going to be the same. Like the energy around college football is just a little bit different. But the skill, like watching some of these college plays, are like, what are we doing? Now, some of them
that's
we've had a
fair.
couple good one-handed catches already, but some of them was like, what? Like watching the Lobos
You and
play
them.
against Macmillan last night.
That was the greatest.
I mean, watching the
Peter-
Lobos play at all.
Peter described it to me as he had the cheese touch, and it couldn't be more accurate. I was like, he literally just looked like he had the cheese touch, and
No
it
one
was
want to touch him.
that shouldn't happen in the NFL. So I'm excited for that part of it.
Fair.
And it starts off with what should theoretically be the only good Thursday night football game this year:
Oh
Yep.
yeah, this is gonna be a good game.
the Ravens and the Chiefs.
Nope.
I have
Yeah.
it marked down as a tie because I was trying to use that for the top 10 teams.
Yeah, I saw that. I noticed.
That ended up not working.
Yeah, cool.
Does
I-
anybody want to start?
I will.
Okay.
I said it in our top 10. I'll say it again. Until they are proven to be defeated, I have to go with the Chiefs. And I think this is a very good case where Ravens can beat them. I just, until I see it, I can't pick it. I have to pick with them. So,
Okay.
as sad as I am, I'm going to pick the Chiefs.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah, I know. I
All
just
right.
have to see it first.
Oh, can I go next?
You
I
can
would
go
like
next.
to go next.
You are more than.
All right, Ravens Chiefs. It's the first game of the year.
It is the first game of the year.
We're not in the postseason,
We are not in the postseason.
so the Ravens
So
are
it's the
not
first
going to
game of
suck
Yeah.
Potentially.
potentially.
They
But
still might
it's
suck.
Lamar in the actual season.
They do tend to do better.
They do tend to do better in the regular season. And we all watched the Chiefs Lions game last year.
Correct. That's what it's a little
The
reminiscent
Chiefs start off slow, at least for the first game.
of. They might,
I'm taking Ravens. Ravens are going to come back mad about their postseason loss, and they're going to take them out. It's going to be pretty cool.
I do like to cheer for the Ravens. For whatever reason, I like the team. I was like, I like
They're a cool
Harbaugh.
team.
He runs a pretty tight ship.
I don't
and
like his brother.
That's fair. And as a Patriots fan, we beat them a lot, so it wasn't really. It's like the AFC East. I don't really have a problem except for the Jets because we just kick their butts every year.
Yeah.
I was like, I
Well,
don't have an issue with them.
you
Like,
did.
the Ravens, I don't have an issue with them because we beat them. Now we are physically incapable of beating them,
Yeah, you don't win a lot of games anymore.
but it's okay because I know we're gonna. I know
Because
we're
you
gonna
did.
lose.
That's all
Right.
that matters.
Right. We could lose for. Actually, I'm not going to speak that into existence. Ravens Chiefs. I'm going to be cheering for the Ravens regardless of who I pick, unless I do like being right. So if I pick the Chiefs, I might cheer for the Chiefs. With that being, I do think I'm leaning the Ravens because under like the same, I think this Ravens team is better than the Lions team that beat them, and I think the Chiefs currently, with Xavier Worthy, their most clear wide receiver. I mean, but he might get suspended.
that's true.
I mean, he shouldn't this soon.
I think they're pushing it.
Right. So I was like,
I
he
think
might
he'll
play,
play the first one.
but he might not. I was like,
Yeah.
just with the questions surrounding the Chiefs,
Questionless, yeah, Xavier Worthy.
their defense, I think will step up. I do think the Ravens will not look great.
Mm-mm.
I just think the Ravens come with the fire and energy of being pissed that they win week 1. Now, even though I predicted the Ravens to make the Super Bowl, if this matchup actually does happen in the postseason, I will pick the Chiefs 20 out of 10 times
Uh,
until the Ravens beat it. Like under the same premise, until the Ravens beat them in the playoffs, I can't pick the Ravens.
And that's why, like,
Chiefs
This-
playoffs are
this
insane.
one's really hard to pick
It's a
Because
great first game.
It really is. And like, although I did pick the Chiefs, I honestly could. I very well could see the Ravens winning this. I think the one thing that concerns me with the Ravens is other than Zay, and Zay's good. I just don't. Is Mark playing? Is who else are they going to throw the ball to? Now you may not need to throw the ball with you have Henry and Lamar.
Yeah, Henry
But-
and Lamar is going to
right.
be
But
insane.
also, is Henry going to be the same, or is he going to be slowed down by?
And I will say, as much
that's what
as-
I need to see.
As much as Lamar gets dragged on for his throwing, he makes crappy receivers work.
He does.
Like both these quarterbacks make crappy receivers work. So I was like, it could just be in the fact that they don't throw it as much.
Yeah.
But
Could
if
be.
they throw it one time to, I don't even know who their number 2 receiver is. In all honesty,
To be honest, I still thought Omar. I still thought
Rashad Bateman.
I
Rashad
still
Bateman
thought
and
Odell
Aguilar.
played for Baltimore.
Not
until
anymore.
about a week ago.
Yeah, like if you get those 1 or 2 passes to Bateman, he'll catch them. I was like, Lamar will throw a catchable ball to him.
Yeah.
So I was like, I am leaning the Ravens for another week 1 upset of the Chiefs. And it's an upset, regardless of what the spread comes out at. Regardless of whatever, it's an upset.
So would I be right in saying this game really is a flip of a coin?
Yeah, I was like, I do like. I
Kinda.
think the Ravens on paper are a better team, but it's the Chiefs.
It's
Yeah.
yeah.
I agree. On paper,
Like
it's
if
not
you
flip.
The
if you
Chiefs do
eliminated
s-
the names,
Yeah,
of
the
of
Chiefs
teams,
do start out rusty though. That's the only thing that I'm.
At least they have
So
they have
without
recently.
Tyreek Hill.
My
With
next
Tyreek Hill
question-
and Travis Kelce no longer being good.
My next question is this the same day they're gonna give out rings?
What
This is the same day they're gonna do like their Super Bowl banner stuff.
should be?
Then I'll stick with the Chiefs, but I could probably see more of the Ravens winning because of that fire now.
Right. I was like, there
And
is
especially if you kind of like unload that banner right in front of your face and you see Super Bowl.
Stephon Diggs, but actual.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then maybe. But
Stephon Diggs did what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so we
Friday.
got 2-1.
Yeah.
Ravens over Chiefs.
Thursday.
I'm gonna go to the Friday game first, and I think we're gonna kind of group it together, like because that took it took a good little bit. But this one's also a good game in Brazil. We have the
In the
Packers and the
stadium, you're
Eagles.
not allowed to wear green.
We have the 2 teams that wear green.
2 of the 3.
Well, even the Dolphins and the Jaguars green isn't.
the Jets are their game.
And the
Oh yeah,
Jets.
the Jets.
We
The
just-
Seahawks.
I try and think of the Seahawks don't count. I try and think about the Jets as little as possible
That's
in my
fair.
life,
That's
and
fair.
that's why we're lived
worked
as
out
long
for-
as I have.
Who's that for you?
Yeah. So Eagles and Packers, 2 of our top 10 teams. It's
I have Eagles.
I am leaning Eagles.
I have an upset. I have Packers. Why do I have this?
Because it's fun. I was like,
Honestly, this one is purely that I think it'll be cool to see Packers win in
it will
Brazil.
be. I like being right. As I mentioned, I cheer for the teams I pick.
Yeah.
True.
I think I'm still. Granted, I hate the Eagles because they beat us twice. I'm still gonna cheer for the Packers, regardless. I'm picking the Eagles. I think the way there is a way for the Packers to win. If their offense comes out clicking
Yeah.
and the Eagles are coached by Nick Sirianni, there's a good chance they win.
So I think that for me, the reason why I picked Packers is I think for Eagles without Kelsey, I'm afraid if that O line is going to still have that leadership with it, which it very well could, and it probably still
Their
does.
O line is too good.
Their
Lane
O-line's
Johnson
stacked.
is still
But
playing.
I understand the Kelsey problem, but
I want to see it, and
I think they're too stacked to worry about it.
I think yeah,
That's-
he's fantastic.
He's their next.
I need to see what they're. I need to see that, and I think that Love and them are going to come out swinging this game, so that's why I think Eagles overall is a better team. But I think with this game, I think Packers are going to want to make an instant statement. I mean, right off the bat, and there's not this is a very good way to make that to knock off Eagles right away.
Yeah. So I think I think the question with the Eagles is how quickly can they like say you add Saquon, you get rid of Kelsey. Your offensive line, their offensive line is
still
probably
strong.
still top 5.
Yeah.
But it's different. It's different. It's a
definitely
What's
different.
happening to the tush
I don't
push? That's the
know.
other one I
Yeah, the
wanna see.
tush push might not work as well, but
His-
Right,
Kelsey
but then
blood,
we have
with
we have no way of actually knowing if it
Until we
doesn't work
see it.
until we see it. So
it'll work. I feel pretty confident it'll work.
I agree.
This still will work, but will it work as efficient?
Okay, enough
as-
about push and tushes. The Eagles, their defense fell off. That was their issue.
Yeah.
It's too high-powered passing attacks. It's
Yeah.
like that was their kryptonite, but much more common.
And then they made up for it in the draft.
They did. They helped.
Yeah, 2 corners, right?
They drafted the 2020 Jackie Robinson.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Don't
Cooper
worry about it, bud.
DeJean.
There we go.
Yep.
And then they double dipped at corner. They got Quinion Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. So I was like, they addressed it. I was like,
they
and
realized
I
their problem
think,
and they went after it. I think.
it's a 1-score game.
I agree.
Oh yeah.
I think
it'll be close.
And honestly, the Packers will probably have
They'll have
the story. The headline will be the Packers choke the lead,
probably.
and it's not necessarily that they will choke it. I think the Eagles will just come back.
You know, I think this game's gonna come down to, like we said, 1 possession. I think Packers will have the ball last. I think it's gonna come
How do
down
you
to,
even predict that?
I just have a feeling it's gonna come down to, is Love gonna be able to come off right away against the
Okay,
new secondary?
if that's your logic, I feel pretty confident about the Eagles. If your logic is I'm predicting the Packers to have the ball last,
No, that
Give me the
literally
Eagles.
just came out just now for no reason. But
okay. Moving
Love
on,
ball
we
last.
got
What's our next one?
We got 2-1 Eagles
My
over
next
over
one,
Packers.
my list goes.
So
funky
what we're gonna
because-
do, we're gonna kind of jump around to consensus ones. The Bengals are gonna win, right?
Yeah.
True.
Okay.
Joe Burrow's back.
I don't think it's anything
gosh,
the
there's not-
Bengals-
I don't think it's really even about
The Patriots.
I don't. Yeah, it's
we're
the
starting.
Patriots.
We're starting.
But I don't
Jacoby
think
Brissett.
that's
No, okay. Before
that's not what I thought of when
So-
I thought we were gonna win. I
So-
thought of Burrow being back. That was my main thought.
So I have a question for you.
I have an answer for you.
If Patriots decided to start Drake May instead of Jacoby, do Patriots have a better shot or do they win?
Oh, way better shot.
Do they win the game?
No,
But do they have a bet? It's closer, you think?
it's a much better shot.
Okay.
Their offense would definitely look better.
Correct. I was like, because you have, it's that same kind of proposition as like with the CJ Stroud thing. It's like you don't know for sure what he can do well, what
Until he
what
does
not.
it.
So it's like on film, you say, well, he should be able to do this. He has proven that he can do that, or he's done that in college, but you don't know for sure. I was like, well, he's not going to get away with that in the NFL. So you game plan for Ramondre, and then all of a sudden, this kid busts out of nowhere.
Right.
So in that case, we would lose by 20 instead of 30. That's what he does.
Okay.
Okay. They have this thing called talent. We don't have that. All right.
Good
We don't have talent right now. Like our talent is either injured
Or not.
or rookies.
Non-existent.
That's our talent. And
Oh,
so
sorry.
eventually, like we could have a like
I think you're in the middle of a
like,
rebuild.
like for the future, I'm feeling good. We got our quarterback. We got our cornerback. We have some receivers that great complementary pieces. I feel pretty good. Not for this year. This year we suck. Okay, Bengals are winning. I think I want to give this game more attention because it kind of deserves it. But Monday night, the 49ers are going to beat the Jets.
Oh, we're
Right.
jumping to Monday. We're skipping all the Sundays.
I'm going consensus ones.
Okay, fine. Yeah, Niners.
The
are winning.
49ers are going to beat the Jets.
See,
It
this-
may be close, and the game is going to be a good game, but we can all agree the Jets are not going to win this football game.
One feels. It feels tough to give the Jets a loss this one,
They're
I
going to
don't
but
lose.
they're
think
playing
so.
the Niners, so it's like
They're
They're
playing
gonna
the
lose.
Niners.
yeah, it's
Rodgers is
San
most
Francisco.
likely gonna end up rusty.
Let's just move on. It's the Niners.
Against yes, like that's what I'm saying. This game is probably going to be good. Probably deserves more. I want to kind of
And then I mean it's Rodgers. He's probably gonna come out and show out.
yeah.
But
It's-
he's also hasn't
It
played
might
in a
be
year.
too little, too late.
So I want to
Yeah,
see.
exactly. He has not played in a
Purdy,
year.
also, yes, preseason, but the games I've seen Purdy play in the preseason, he does not look good.
That's the
it's Brock
preseason.
Purdy. I don't.
Yeah, I
don't
know,
care.
but that's something to keep it interesting.
And
If he can
Ayuk
show
was being
Rusty a little
funky
bit,
in the preseason, so their preseason's a whole different story.
and that's also a little scary to think about. Again, for
Ayuk
everyone.
got his deal.
Yeah, but they haven't done much with anyone. Has he?
You didn't visit my neighbor.
What?
Brandon Ayuk. He didn't visit my neighbor. Last week I said he was going to visit my neighbor.
Yeah, what the hell?
We got to ask Aaron if he's going to if he visited.
Yeah.
So the next consensus one, as much as it pains me, the Saints are going to beat the Panthers.
Yeah.
Now in week 5,
Yeah, that's
when you play them again, I might pick the Panthers because I really think Bryce Young might actually be decent.
And their division is notorious for going
Beat-
1-1.
Beating each other, yeah. But the Saints are going to win.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
Like I think regardless.
Unfortunately, I'd love to see the Panthers win though.
Admittedly, me too. I
know.
not even against,
Not even against the Saints. I want
I want to see Bryce Young do well.
to see him have a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But I also want to see the Saints lose. But also, mostly, I want to see Bryce Young actually do something.
I would like to see him be good week 2.
Kind of treating the next one. We all have the Buccaneers beating the Commies.
Agreed.
Yes.
It's like it could be a good game just because they suck.
I almost win Commanders.
But I do see we all have the Buccaneers winning.
Yeah.
Are they starting Jaden?
Yes.
Yes. That's why I almost
the Buccaneers.
picked Washington.
Well, that's why I feel very confident Buccaneers will win.
Yeah, because
Like,
he
might
rookie.
he might
go
play great.
crazy.
The Buccaneers, I feel very
Isn't he
confident
also
will
coming
win.
up of an
I'll
No, his elbow is just so weird.
I'll keep it. Let's move on.
I'm
before I
staying
change
in
it.
Bucks.
So the next one that sticks out to me is the Dolphins and the Jaguars.
Yeah.
I think the
Mhm.
the Dolphin. I am a big Jaguars fan
I
because
love
Trevor Lawrence is pretty.
What?
Sorry, Trevor Lawrence is pretty, and Mac Jones is pretty. No, he's not.
He got traded for a bag of chips.
No, probably a large pizza.
No, it was a bag of chips.
We would be lucky if we got a slice of pizza out of him. Okay,
What's the gift for him?
I don't.
A bag of chips.
Probably.
Alright,
The
we'll
Dolphins
give you a
are
box-
winning.
Give
I
him a
just-
box of chips.
We all have the Dolphins winning.
I have the Dolphins. They're too fast.
I again under the same thing as these other guys. Like I think it could be close. I think the Jaguars could make a game out of
I
it.
agree.
I think the Dolphins.
Jags are funky.
They've started off well the last couple of years. I like the Dolphins. Kind of in the AFC realm, I think we all have the Texans beating the Colts.
We do not.
I do.
I should have looked over before.
CJ, we trust, bro.
I will say this.
Remember, he has the Colts going to the Super Bowl
So the reason I
against
picked
the
the
Saints.
He officially had that.
the reason I had the Colts is for the sheer fact that it's their home.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
I
For
think
somebody who doesn't like potential, like who doesn't like banking on it, who just like I like to see it first. You picked Anthony Richardson to beat CJ Stroud.
Oh, I'm also biased for the Colts because
I know you are.
in USC.
But you picked-
yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
For somebody
don't
who
get me wrong.
doesn't like.
I should pick the Texans here. I'm
Okay,
just-
so we consensusly have the Texans.
No, we
So
do
at
not.
least he
but
knows.
technically we don't.
Colts
At
will
least
win.
he knows.
So
But
my thought
I get-
process was correct in saying
Oh yeah,
Okay.
There's no reason I should pick Colts here with I don't know what Richardson's going to be. I'm still
I
picking.
mean, we
the
know
Colts.
what Richardson can be.
right.
What
He
is
could
He
be
showed off last year, but
what
he
is
was
going
hurt
to
too
be?
long.
Yeah.
But it's the first game of the season. He might be okay.
Yeah.
But Stroud's coming back.
I do think the Texans win a close one. Yeah. Well, I was going to do this one first.
That's what
I think the Bills are going to beat the Cardinals.
I agree. I think the Cardinals will show off some.
Marvin Harrison could have
Marvin Harrison could have the
150
best game of his life.
and they're still going to lose.
I agree.
How's their defense?
Not good.
The Cardinals defense?
If they got a bunch of players to overperform last year, like that's what it was. Like they had a bunch of guys. Like Gannon is again a defensive mind. He got his players to overperform. That's not sustainable. So it's like the Bills are going to win.
Yeah.
The next one, I think we all have the Falcons beating the Steelers. Even though
I agree.
this is the game you come back to when you wonder how Mike Tomlin finishes above 500 every year.
Yeah, or you look
This
at the,
is the game you come back to
Did he win?
and say this like that's the game.
or
that's
just the
decided.
game that we come back to next week and go, what were we thinking?
Correct, that too, because Mike Tomlin always finishes above 500.
Yeah.
But we're all going to predict the Falcons.
Yep.
This
I
is
took
going to
the
be
Falcons.
a pain in the butt to edit and go through it.
Yeah.
The next game we don't care about, so we're going to mention it. The Bears are beating the Titans. Okay, whatever.
I said Titans are beating the Bears.
I think you did that out of spite.
I might have, but I believe in the Titans.
I don't.
I don't.
Will Levis has a weird
Dude,
addiction. To
mayonnaise gives you special powers.
No, it does.
Yes, it does.
It
That's
does
how Sam
not.
Darnold saw ghosts. You can't convince me otherwise. He drank too much mayo. And have you not seen how pale that kid is? Speaking of which, he's losing to Tommy DeVito and the Giants. And I know Daniel Dimes is starting. It is Tommy DeVito, Drew Lock, and the Giants are beating the pale male kid.
This one does not feel good to pick the
It was-
Giants,
Giants will win.
Wait,
and I'm still picking them.
I took the Vikings.
You pick Sam Darnold to win a football game in 2024.
Yeah.
Now, is that because
It was more of how the Giants play.
I was like, it's
In
fair.
all
I was like,
honesty.
I do legitimately hate picking the New York Giants to win a football game.
I do too?
If
Yeah.
it were up to me, I would pick them. To
I
win
mean,
every single
after
game.
this game, they could probably change my mind completely.
I was like,
But
the only game I want to pick them to win is sweeping the Cowboys and the Eagles.
that would
Like
not
they could go
happen.
4-13, and I want them. If I could pick their 4 wins, it would be those 4 games.
They're not going to touch either one.
Correct.
I-
They won't because they suck.
Yeah, I took Vikings.
So I was like, I don't want to pick them. like if JJ was starting, I'd
think
consider it
Vikings.
because
I
like
think-
I think Kevin O'Connell will mold JJ McCarthy into Kirk Cousins 2.0.
Yeah,
I don't
Except
think I don't think his ceiling is much higher than that.
that's fair.
But he can get into a 3,500-yard passer with with a little bit of rushing upside. I was like, that's what he'll be developed into. He's not there right now, and I'm not picking the mayo drinking Sam Darnold.
Well, I did.
For the record, there's no proof that he's ever drank mayo.
I mostly
It's just-
chose because of Jefferson, though.
and it's fair. They
That's-
have the best player.
That's where I was
Which,
almost-
I mean, you could be the worst quarterback ever, and you could throw it to Jefferson. You could look
Yeah.
like a god.
honestly, that's the
That's
only
the only
why-
reason I took it is because it's Jefferson.
That's the only reason I consider taking the Vikings.
Yes, and I side with Peter on that one. I was like, that's the only reason they were considered, as opposed to that's why they're gonna win.
Yeah.
I just and they could come back and win, and that be their only win all year.
If Vikings
Wouldn't
win
be
that,
shocked.
if Vikings win that game, I would not be like, that's surprising. I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it was an odd one to pick.
Yeah.
Okay, the next crappy game that I see, which would have been great
This one.
in 2017,
Oh, are you thinking?
Oh, this one.
I think I know what you're thinking.
is Broncos and Seahawks.
Yeah, I took
Fuck, that's
Seahawks.
Yeah, I think we all went Seahawks,
Broncos.
but it's just this
Broncos
feels
are
like a
on their
crappy
way.
game. I was like, this feels like a game
Yeah, that no one cares
that
about.
no one's. The only thing is you'll see the touchdowns on red zone.
Yeah.
And then you're like, we're gonna come back next. Like, you're gonna be looking ahead like, who did the Seahawks beat?
Yeah.
Who did the Broncos lose to?
Yeah.
I was like, Justin, I love you, and I drafted Audric Estime for you. The Broncos suck.
They
but
starting Knicks?
They're starting Knicks. Their other options were Zach Wilson and Jared Stidham.
And then,
Zach Wilson, baby.
No. So the Seahawks are winning. I was
who's
like,
the Seahawks starting?
Geno Smith.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Geno Smith, and then they have their 3 receivers, Kenneth Walker.
Can we
DK.
get,
DK.
Yeah.
can we get that one out of the way next?
No.
Yeah, no, Seahawks are winning that one.
So so the games we have left.
Chargers.
Chargers, Raiders, Cowboys, Browns, Rams, Lions. I think that's it.
Rams, Lions.
Yep.
I think we said the rest of them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. The crappiest game is the Raiders and the Chargers.
Yeah, this one was. I haven't even picked one for this one yet.
And that's fair. I'll start off. I picked the Raiders, and I think they will be a worse team at the end of the year. But you start Gardner Minshew, you get Antonio Pierce as the coach. You are going to win one game you're not supposed to. And I don't feel confident picking to win any other game. And the Chargers suck. Like, you have Justin
Yeah.
Herbert.
Who's questionable right now?
He's questionable, and people question if he's a good quarterback. Which
Which
those
is-
people piss me off.
Those
But
people are
I can't really
funny.
prove them wrong.
Yeah.
But I know they're wrong. But I can't prove them wrong.
Yeah.
But I picked the Raiders. It's the game that they're going to win and then lose the next 4 straight.
I think that's the way I was leaning.
I took the Chargers.
That's fair.
The reason I think the Chargers is because I think Herbert will play. I think that. Honestly, I don't have a fucking reason why I took the Chargers. I, just did.
No, because it feels like you should take the Chargers.
Yeah.
It
Because
felt,
they're supposed
yeah, I
to
was
be
sitting there.
better.
I was like, I'm supposed to take the Chargers, but then I was looking at the Raiders, and I was like,
Well, it's to me, it's once you realize just how bad the Chargers actually are.
yeah.
I took the Chargers.
They're
I
rocking a
can't-
new coach right now.
New coach, new offensive coordinator.
New offensive coordinator, whole new
Quentin
offense.
Johnson or Lad McConkey, who didn't even pass 500 yards in college.
Yeah.
I think I'll take the Chargers on a pure principle that I think Justin Herbert will play, and I think that he will have a great game, and I think we're going to see one of the Chargers receiver really step out and be that, like, oh shit, he could really be a number one. And then the week after, get totally mistaken about who that was. But I think just for right now, I'm picking Chargers because, like, I think you're right. I think they feel like they should be better.
They just
Okay.
seem too even.
All I
Yeah.
know, this game is ending 28-27.
No, it's like 10-3,
Okay, that's probably more, but their defenses suck.
Or like 7-3.
The game is going to end
50-60.
28-27. The next crappy game is the Cowboys and the Browns.
I took Cowboys.
It's an ugly game. Like it's under
I
the
don't
same
want-
premise that it's just I don't want to watch this game. I don't. I
It
just
just doesn't seem like a game that should happen.
right. I was like, you go from the Chiefs and the Ravens. I was like,
And the
then
Lions
next
and the
one's
Rams.
That's what I'm saving for last. I was like,
Eagles. Packers.
The Jets
Right,
and the
even that one.
Niners,
Right.
the Eagles,
I
the
would-
Packers,
The fact that I would much rather watch the Jets play a football
the
game.
Texans and the Colts.
Right. I was like,
There's
this-
a lot of
Honestly-
like really big
honestly,
name
I think
games, and then
Raiders-
there's the Cowboys against the Browns.
I think Raiders teams is gonna be
right.
a
I was
better
like,
game.
and in all honesty, both teams are like top 15.
Yeah.
But it feels like
Wrong.
it feels like what goes on inside my belly when I drink too much caffeine.
Let's see what happens here after we eat McDonald's.
That too, Olive Garden.
Oh yeah, that was
Or
rough.
both.
Yeah. That's when you take the limitless pasta a bit too far. That's what this game feels like. I was like,
Yeah.
the Cowboys have no running game.
It's fair.
The Browns have no passing game. Both of them should have good defenses.
They both. They do.
One of
don't
them, well, the Cowboys I question without Dan Quinn.
they? Yeah, but they still got Micah.
It was crappy before he got there.
That's
It was
fair.
so bad. I went the Cowboys.
I went the Cowboys.
I think they're slightly more talented. I
took the
also will
Cowboys.
never pick Deshaun Watson to win a football game
I honestly don't think.
unless they play.
I don't think the Browns are gonna be.
Patriots.
I think Browns. I think Browns are gonna be that team that it is. Everyone's.
I think the only time I take the Browns.
What
is if
everyone's
they're playing
hyped
the
on what they did last year and how they looked with Flacco.
Joe Flacco.
I don't think they're gonna be the
Deshaun
same
Watson's
team.
not Joe Flacco.
No, I don't think.
So we're going with the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Bengals.
I
Yeah.
went the last game.
Rams Lions.
I know it's not consensus because we work with somebody. Well, we don't work. We film with somebody who is lacking multiple chromosomes.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely biased.
Somehow
even
he's
though
missing them, and he has extra at the same
It's
time.
impressive. It really is.
You're welcome.
He has a
No.
bias despite not actually cheering for this team, but does cheer for this team, and
And
hates
also-
teams that are rivals of this team
Yep.
without actually liking the team.
So, the reason I hate that team
So,
It's
the
not
Lions
because-
and the Rams.
it's not because of the Rams. It's because I don't like. I just hate it. No.
They don't want you to call it Frisco anymore. It pisses them off. It's San Francisco, not just Frisco.
Frisco.
San Francisco.
The
Frisco.
Lions and the Rams. The people who use either all their brain power or none of their brain power have the Lions winning. The one who either uses way too much brain power, which is more than likely trying to think of any reason for the Lions not to win, or not enough brain power, because he's dumb, has the Rams winning.
If I'm honest, I think the reason I have the Rams winning this game is because I think the Rams are going to come out and chill, and I think they're going to surprise the Lions a little bit, and I think that's going to catch them off guard.
Okay, I can see that.
And that's why
And guess what? The
Yeah.
Rams will catch up like that. Their
What do you
offense
mean,
is
the
just
Lions?
the Lions. They both suck. They both lose to Drake May. The Lions will catch up like that. Their offense is too good. The point still stands. Amon-Ra is, in my opinion, the best offensive player. And you can say what you want about Kupp, Puka, Kyron.
I'm
whatever.
worried about their defense.
Amon-Ra's. You're
We
you're
watched
betting
this
against the
game-
Dan Campbell defense.
That's you know what?
Or a Dan
Fair.
Campbell offense.
I was like, you're betting against Dan Campbell.
Fair.
And
Dude's
personally,
gotta run 4th downs because he can, because it's fun.
I was like, my knees
Sure.
don't work. I still like having kneecaps.
He plays Madden.
And I'm not picking. He plays like he coaches like he's playing Madden.
Yeah.
I am not going to pick against Dan Campbell unless he gives me a reason to pick against Dan Campbell.
And that is if this was honestly any other team but the Saints, I'd probably pick the
The
Rams.
I usually
You were so biased. You called them your favorite team.
I usually love to pick the
It's fair.
opposite
I
end.
called them the Lions.
Yeah, you did call the Rams the Lions.
I
Or no,
did.
you called the Lions the Rams. That was
No
amazing.
one's. The Rams just don't exist.
No.
Do I honestly so look at this. I think this is a game that Rams can win, and that's why I picked them. I think really they are very comparable. I think they are very similar in how they play. I will say you are right that Lions are the more talented team,
They are.
and on paper they should win this. And this is at home; they should win it.
This is
I
always a
just
fun
have-
game to watch.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It-
It,
I
was
just- I
fun to
just have
watch
a-
in the playoffs. It's going to be fun to
I
watch.
just have a
This
feeling that
better
Rams
be
are going to
so.
overturn this and win this.
See, I,
I
can even
tend to
back
pick
you.
the one that lost most recently, which was the Rams. But I'm going with the Lions.
See,
I do kind of back you on the fact that I could see the Rams jumping out to a 10-0 lead. A 10, 13, 14-point lead.
Yeah.
Is that
And then
okay?
Detroit, in 6 plays, the game's tied.
Yeah.
Like, I think this could be Jameson Williams' breakout game. I was like, I know you don't know who that is.
I don't think he'll have a breakout game in this game. I think it's very soon though.
I was like, but like theoretically, like just
What
with his deep shot ability, like the fact that he is so fast.
His breakout game is gonna be this game.
I like it against the Rams. I was like,
That's
I think there's a chance they shut down Amon-Ra, and all of a sudden you have the fastest dude on the field with again the Torrey McMillan cheese touch. I was like, and it's like that same thing. Like he's just. I know you don't watch too much college football. Watching Jameson Williams,
he's good.
like the year at Ohio State, and then at Alabama, or the 2 years at Ohio State, right? Too.
Who?
Jameson Williams, because he transferred to Alabama. He wasn't very good at Ohio State. He didn't play because you guys had too many receivers.
If he played, I would have remembered him.
His year at Alabama was unbelievable.
For what I've seen from
Like,
him
it was
last
incredible.
year,
He didn't play last year.
he played a little bit last year.
Played like one game.
He played like 3 or 4. But from what I saw from him last year, I was pretty like
But
he looked pretty good. I was pretty excited to see what he has. I think he's gonna have a good year this year.
no, he played 12 games.
I like
Yeah.
how we haven't even.
But he
brought
didn't
up
really play.
Laporta. That's
No.
awesome.
We have not brought up Sam Laporta. We have not brought up Jameer Gibbs or David Montgomery.
Yeah, we're just like, you know what? Amon-Ra's got this.
I mean, to be fair, Laporta and Gibbs are injured. They're questionable.
questionable,
They'll
yeah.
play.
They'll play.
I also say that I think the Rams do a very good job at guarding tight ends. But I could be-
Amon-Ra and Jameson Williams.
I could be
baby.
totally wrong about that statement, but I just feel like that's the case.
And the Rams' defense could also be completely different.
That's
Josh
That's-
Reynolds doesn't play there anymore.
that's the one thing I'm afraid of.
Donald.
Aaron Donald?
Aaron Donald. Didn't he leave?
Yeah,
He
he left. but
He's
they
still faster than LaShawn McCoy, though.
That's cool.
They replaced him
That's
with
impressive.
3
Just like the way that
players.
I'm still faster than Peter, and always will be faster than Peter.
Yeah, that's fair. It's not hard.
Backpedaling. If y'all enjoyed, please leave a like, subscribe, and don't pick the Rams to win that game. Adios.